Welcome to the Lost Slowdown Podcast 120. We're your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
Back, continuing our Season 2 commentary series with episode 214, One of Them.
Oh
And
yeah.
speaking of one of them, I think we're going to be the only ones left podcasting by the time we get to the end of this run.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Yeah, if you go to Lost Podcasting Network, right now it seems to be us and Looking Back at Lost. And Looking Back at Lost is doing season 6, so we're not really that far. So chances are we're no.
Are they podcasting every week, or what's their cadence?
Yeah, I think they're going every week, almost.
Oh, so fast.
Really fast, really fast. We're taking our time with this.
Slow down, savor it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's better that way, I think.
Yeah, I think so. We want to stay on this island for as long as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the Losties, right?
Yeah, sort of. But yeah, I really like the fact that we're gonna be there way after everyone else has given up, because we were there.
Everyone else has moved on to better things.
Yes. Yes, they have, but still, though.
Shows, perhaps.
Yeah, people watch other things. I don't know, but Lost had something that most shows don't have, and for example. And so, yeah, I think it merits more attention. But yeah, I like the fact that we started really early. We weren't the earliest, but we were there pretty early, season 2, and we're still here.
Yeah, it's about 7 years of podcasting at this point, which when we first were like, yeah, we should podcast about Lost, I'm thinking we'll get through a couple episodes, and then we'll realize it's too much work, and we'll stop.
Yeah, and even though it was too much work,
it was way too much work all the time.
Oh man, if you ever listen to those early episodes, those were so much work.
It was so hard to edit those 6 and 8 hour podcasts of the way we had to record, and it was there were so many issues that it was just and then I remember running into tech support issues, and the company's like, we don't even know what's going on. It's like, yeah, thanks, it's your software and you don't even know what's happening. All right.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. It may not come across when you listen to the audio how hard it was, but man, it was truly hours and hours of editing time. But yeah, we eventually got easier, luckily, because the podcast got longer as time went on. So it would have been even more painful later if some of those things hadn't changed. But yeah, we were so innocent at the time, we didn't really know. We didn't know anything, we didn't know what Lost was about. We didn't know how long it would last. We didn't know, and we were just jumping in.
We didn't know what the central idea, what the central mystery really was.
Yeah.
What it was really all about.
Exactly. Yeah, like the things that we were talking about back then were on a different level from what the show became focused on.
So how does the ash work? Let's talk about that for 6 hours.
Oh my god. Yeah. So, but I do find that stuff really interesting. Like, I love our innocent selves. It's just there's something crazy hearing your brain sort of working out with less information, trying to understand the same thing.
Yeah.
And I really would like to do some kind of retrospective someday. I'm really entertained by our old stuff.
If I could stand to listen to our old podcasts, I think I could, that'd be fun. But there's so much.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of like, where do you start? Where do you go? And
I would have to start with the first one.
Oh.
Which would be really painful, but I'd have to.
I think it'll be apropos when we get, since we're in season 2 now in the commentary series, when we get to 2 for the Road. That would be a very interesting moment to go back to our 2 for the Road podcast.
You're right. That's perfect. I didn't think of that. Yeah. We should do that.
Yeah.
I would totally listen to that to just to compare. Here's us like 7 years later on the same episode. Like that's just so. Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to get those two perspectives on the same episode, separate apart, and well, and I think we even did our other retrospective, so we've already talked about that episode, I'm sure, a couple times. But
yeah, you're right. We have talked about it. We have talked about it in other podcasts.
So we'd have like 3 versions of it. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Different levels of our like understanding of the show. Because at a certain point, like it transitioned from, and by at a certain point, I think I mean after the show was over. But maybe in season 6, I started thinking more like this. Like it changed from what's going on, what's gonna happen, what's the answer to this mystery, to what were the writers thinking when they did the following?
Yeah, how come they didn't close this circle? How come they didn't do this thing? Why did they lead us to believe A when it was B? There was a lot of that. Because I think by that last season, which was probably the transition point, it became clear that they were only going to talk about certain things, and you're just like, well, why did we spend all the time on the other stuff? We're not even going to get back to that.
Yeah. Whereas when you first watch it, you don't know if it's irrelevant or not.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if it's an important, because they picked their things, and some of the things they chose to go back to.
I thought Sun's glass ballerina was going to be the central, the crux of what the show was going to be about, but I was wrong.
Of course you would pick that one. It's like the worst. Oh, man. Oh, my God. But yeah, I mean... ridiculous as it may sound, the point stands. I mean, for all we knew, the glass ballerina would be important.
Yeah, I mean, did anyone care to see if there was any hidden messages written on that thing? I mean, that could have been Jacob's ballerina that washed up on the island at some point. And he gave it to Sun when she was a little girl, and through her dad, and you never know what's going on.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think season 6 is where it sort of became clear. I think because up to that point, there was always sort of the idea of, well, maybe they'll revisit this. I mean, even with the Blaster map or whatever, it was like, maybe somehow they'll revisit it.
Blind hope.
Yeah, exactly. And it was, when you didn't know what they were going to do with the show, it seemed possible. Why not have a flashback or something where, where you sort of go back and delve into it more, and they go there in the 70s, and they even talk about the Swan Station. It's almost like they're hovering around the possibility, but it just wasn't important, so they weren't going to do it, but like,
and when you get to those moments of what they do all that stuff, they go back to some big important plot point, like, say how the numbers got on the hatch. And then it's like, that's all you're gonna give us is nothing. So it was like, not only did we have the blind hope some things would be resolved, and then we were realizing, okay, they weren't going to be resolved. Even the stuff that was resolved was kind of sadly resolved. So it was like, well, okay, now what are the writers thinking here?
Yeah, that's another version where it's like, that was just this.
Yeah, exactly. Why was that thing there? Because he just put it there that one time.
Yeah, why were you worried about that? It wasn't a big deal.
Exactly. Did we title the episode that thing and have a whole plot about it? Is that why you thought it was a big deal?
Oh, right. Well,
our bad. Sorry.
You gotta write about something. I mean,
exactly.
That's what we had that week.
Exactly.
But you're right. That was a pattern, and it wasn't until season 6. And I think really, like, for me, the breaking point probably in my mind was the whole thing with the temple and the ash and the way they handled all of that, and like the sickness, like the way they handled that, it was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's what the answers are. They're like,
I totally agree. I think that whole Sundown episode and those kind of episodes around that where it was like I mean, we already knew the others were just a flock of sheep, but
yeah,
when you're gonna follow your sworn enemy just because you have no choice, that's not interesting. And then when it's like, wow, you guys have some fountain of youth or some healing fountain, and you guys don't even know how it works. Or I'm not even sure if you've actually used it before. And I don't even understand how it works because it did something now it didn't seem to used to do, and who knows?
Yeah.
And it's like they couldn't get those kind of things straight. Of like, it's like it was just a weird thing, specifically with the fountain, of introducing something new in a situation that isn't indicative of what it was before. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, here's this thing you didn't know about, but this isn't what it used to always was. This is the new version of it, and it's kind of like, well, that's weird. Why show us version 2, and we never saw version 1.
Right.
And we're confused on the differences there.
Yeah. We never see the scene where Ben gets healed there, where it works the way it's supposed to.
Exactly. Yeah.
We only see it where it's corrupted.
Because all we know, I don't remember if we've even said this, but for all we know, it worked the same way it did with Sayid, and Ben was just a zombie this entire time we saw him. That was zombie Ben, and nobody did anything about it. you know?
Honestly, it's ridiculous, but you might be right. Like, honestly, it's true. Because if you look at the way the people behave that have the quote-unquote sickness, Ben could totally have it.
He could totally have it.
It's totally true. He does come under the influence of the Man in Black.
Yep.
And he does, like, follow his orders to a certain extent, But he still has the ability to think for himself to some extent,
Exactly, yeah.
It's like, why not? He had the sickness the whole time, and no one knew.
Did we never say that? I feel like we never brought that up, but
no, I don't remember ever bringing that up.
So we can still have new ideas on this podcast. That's nice to know.
That's kind of amazing, actually. Yeah. But I wouldn't have believed it at the time because I really thought the sickness was supposed to be more than what it was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't more. It was a very sort of, I don't even know. It was such a subtle thing that you can almost not know.
Now it makes me wonder if Russo's team, when dude gets his arm taken off and they're in the temple, like did the survivors, did Robert and the other guy, like did they fall in the water and get infected and become zombies? I mean, like maybe that's the explanation.
Yeah, I mean, why not? We'll never know what happened down there. It's like we can't prove that that's not true.
Yeah.
And so, like that. Lost is so weird sometimes. That scene, I can't. When we get to that stuff, it's gonna be. I'm gonna lose my mind. Really, it makes season 2 look like totally straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think about the way they handled those stuff. That scene where he takes his arm off and drags him down, and then he's like, "Oh no, guys, I'm cool. Just come on down here." It was so lackluster.
Never mind that smoke monster you just saw. Everything's cool down here.
Yeah, but it's strange because it's like a scene from a horror movie. It should be creepy, but they play it like blasé.
Yeah.
They play it like, who cares? Like, nah, man, guys, it's totally fine. Just come on down. And they're like, okay, sure, why not? I mean, he sounds reasonable.
Exactly.
But then, like, in season 6, they find his skeleton there, and so it's like, I guess he died there. I don't know what we're supposed to think.
And that's weird, right? He never moved, like, from that spot, right? That's what we're supposed to believe, is he's dying from bleeding out, and he just never moves.
Yeah, he just sat there for forever after. I don't know. I don't know if we're supposed to think A, it doesn't matter, but here we go. I don't know if we're to think A, he fell down there, he got wounded, and he contracted the sickness immediately and called them down for the Man in Black, or B, he went down there, died immediately, and the Man in Black assumed his form and called them down there. I don't know which one it's supposed to be. Seems like it could go either way.
Yeah. I guess I would want to go with B. B's a little more interesting. Because I don't believe he could have died, or he could have gotten the sickness immediately or something. Like, the question is, why is he calling them down there? That's really the question.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess we're just supposed to believe he wants their help. So he's like, "Come help me."
Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea. He's like, "No, I'm fine. Just come on down and help me," or something.
Yeah. Why didn't he say, like? Because didn't they see his arm getting taken off?
Yeah. So, no, the one of them's holding it. Really.
So yeah, he's aware. I just feel like he's like, why say everything's okay? Just come on down. Why not say, I'm bleeding to death. Come help me immediately.
Yeah, that's what was weird. It's like if he wants to sell it to them that it's a real thing to like come help him, then he should be like, "Oh my god, I lost my arm."
You just tell the truth and say, "I need help." But he's lying and saying everything's. But it's like, yeah, why are you lying? What's making you lie?
Yeah. And why wouldn't he just be like, I'm bleeding to death, help me? Like, it's just weird. Mm-hmm. That scene is so strange, and that's another one where I'm just like, why did they write it that way? I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I just don't have a clue what they were thinking. Yeah,
that's a weird one. In a long line of weird ones.
Yeah. I know. That's just one of many examples, but it just popped into my head because it's related to that general topic, you know, because that was our first like taste of the sickness.
Yeah.
And it was just as confusing and bizarre as the second instance.
It never got clear. That's like a whole list of things on Lost that just never got more clear than when they were introduced.
Yeah, exactly. It was like they told us more. They revisited it multiple times.
Yeah, you'll get information about it. Don't worry, but it won't help you figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and that's so strange. It's like it didn't help that they went back to the mystery. It might have even made it worse. You know?
I agree. It's like actually seeing Russo's story play out about how she had to kill them, and then you got to see what they really acted like. So then you're like, well, I don't know. I don't. You know, then you had more to judge about what could have happened and how. And
it's true.
And it does. Yeah, it muddles it up.
It's still very ambiguous because you only see one of them. She's already killed the rest of them. You only see her husband, you know, Robert, like still there.
Yeah.
You know, and this one thing he does that's like kind of bad, seemingly. Mm-hmm. You know, but it's like there's ambiguity there because you don't really know. Like she just killed the rest of their team. Yeah. You know, like. It's weird that he's going to shoot her and she's pregnant with his baby and all that and she's his wife and so on and so forth, but it's still like...
Yeah, because what's strange is the same thing that makes her want to kill him could be the thing that makes him want to kill her.
Right.
You know, he is coming off evil and possessed, but he could think she's turned just like she thinks he's turned.
That's true.
And you don't really get to understand if that's a valid assumption or not.
Yeah. And the only thing that makes me think it's him rather than her, I mean, first of all, the fact that he went down there and she didn't.
Yeah.
You know, because Jin was there, remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. As we all remember.
It was only for Jin's sake. It was only because of Jin that she was not infected also. The show would have us believe.
Oh, jeez.
But, you know, he lets out that line, oh, no, it's not a monster. It's a security system guarding the temple.
Ah, yes.
And so, yet another problem. I mean, even having him say that is a problem. But
you know, and again, if this is this show, man, again, it's so strange that he would say that to her. It's a security system. Because it's like, we're supposed to believe that comes from Man in Black himself, right?
Yeah, I think that's my only.
Why would he say that about himself? Why would he say he's a security system protecting the temple? That's not true.
I know. I know. I know. Like, he made up a lie about himself and then convinced him it was true, this other guy, so he could tell Russo. I have no idea why he would say that. It's weird.
Now, okay, here's a crackpot theory in that the only thing I can think of that would make sense is if the others live in the temple and anyone who kind of goes in there becomes part of the others, and on Jacob's team, like maybe he's saying the security thing like so that no one goes to the temple, people stay away from the temple specifically.
Okay.
Don't get on Jacob's team. That's the only besides them needing to retcon how she got that idea.
Right. Yeah. That is why he says it, but. Yeah. But that's the problem. Sometimes that's version 2. Version 1 is we learn more, but we learn nothing. Version 2 is we learn something that just makes it even more confusing. Mm-hmm. Like that actually causes more problems, like with other plot lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they're combining the sickness and this thing she said about the security system, and like it just creates more problems because now we have to understand why was he saying he was the security system.
Yeah,
he just randomly said that one time, like and it got passed along. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like no one else probably thinks that. Yeah. She thinks it because he told her that once.
Yeah, exactly. And she believes it. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. Like, she doesn't trust him, but she sort of passes that along like it's true.
Yeah.
Like she knows, And it's a little messed up because he says the temple and she says the island, But it's like, whatever. And then they just cover everything up with, well, it's been 16 years and she's crazy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like if she gets details wrong, it's just because she,
Well, they didn't have the temple yet, so she couldn't have said the temple, and it would have been, a spoiler if she said he's guarding the temple. What temple? Like
the temple, yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, the other's temple. You haven't met them yet, but they have a temple. That would have been weird.
That would have been weird, but ostensibly she knew about it, because she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
that begs the question: why didn't she, season 1 and 2, when the others are always attacking, why didn't she say, "Hey, I know where they come from. There's a temple."
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't think.
We could go attack that. Maybe.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Well.
So speaking of Rousseau, I think we got a little of her in this episode too.
Okay, nice. So we're back on track here.
Yeah, it ties in.
Well, all right. Well, let's get started with that. But yeah, it's going to be a couple more years. I hope our listeners are. I know we have some uneven cadence with our release schedule, but hopefully you guys can be patient and follow along with us as we trek through this show again. And I want to give a shout out to one of our longtime listeners, Jerry. She just recently posted on the website about that her 8-year-old daughter remembers when Jerry was listening to our show when Lost was on, and now the daughter's 14 herself. Watching Lost and listens to the Lost Lowdown, so a shout out to Jerry as well. Now that we have multi-generational listeners, it's pretty awesome. So
yeah, that's I was floored by that.
That's that's a very high compliment, and apologies for any inappropriate language that might crop up there.
Yeah, it's not exactly a podcast for younger kids, but 14.
Yeah,
she's getting there.
Exactly. Cool. So glad to have you on board, and let's get on with one of them.
All right. Can't wait for this one.
So get your players ready if you're gonna watch with us. Let's see here. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
All right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They don't whisper.
Whisper when they're talking quietly to themselves.
Okay. Maybe they whisper, but they don't whisper.
Yeah, lowercase w, not capital W.
Exactly.
And we all know it.
Yeah, I always want to point out, like, I'm lying right now, but the general point is true.
Yeah.
I'm actually covering for Walt right now, but
It's so weird. They're smart and they're animals. Like,
mm,
building up this legend about these people, you know.
yeah,
So interesting how easy it is to do.
yeah, I know, and it works. You know, I really bought into it. The others are scary in these days. Man, that eye makeup. So weird. Very bushy eyebrows, too.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember this.
Oh, yeah.
Shred faster.
Shred faster.
Hey guys, I think it's gonna be destroyed with this bombing.
Yeah, like, yeah. I don't know. I mean, how much is it going to help?
Yeah.
They don't have the paperwork.
I'm surprised one of these soldiers isn't like somebody on the island.
Yeah. Although, I think that might be coming.
Oh. CG helicopter.
Yeah. I didn't really notice that before. It's high quality. Iraq, Hawaii.
But back in London, I did a lot of translating. Okay. I don't know if we're supposed to like wonder was Sidon lying or was he just wrong?
uh, yeah, it's a good question. I think he was lying, but I'm not really sure.
It's one of the others. Quick, kill him.
Yeah.
This is the problem they have on the with the Losties. They're so secretive.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone ever.
Oh, man.
As she runs to tell Jack.
Mm-hmm. He should know this for the army purposes.
Yes, exactly. Fellow commander. What? What? Again?
I know. Double what?
Double what?
All right. Nothing specific, but Russo's back.
Yeah.
All the credits.
Maybe she wants a baby this time.
Yeah.
Like a baby now?
Yeah. I remember that was exciting back in the day.
It worked.
Man, they have this conversation so many times on the show.
Yeah.
We have to keep moving. Where are we going? Just trust me.
Just trust me. If I told you now, it'd ruin it for the audience.
Exactly. And I could easily say it right now.
But the thing called suspense.
I bet you disabled the firing pin. Okay, maybe not.
Trust us, we're the U.S. military.
Yeah, this is weird. I never really thought about this at the time, but sometimes these flashbacks are sort of like mini procedurals.
Yeah, totally.
Because like
its own TV show.
All the facts going on here really don't matter at all for the long-term story. This is just like business.
Yeah. Well, they might call it character development, but yeah, it's
okay, sure. But yeah, but I mean like the specific facts of the story that they're telling here about the helicopter and all this stuff, the pilot and what they know and don't know and who's where and why.
Mm-hmm. It could be It could be about anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's really just like, let's have some backstory that shows how Sayid starts.
Red shirts.
Oh, those are red shirts. Wow, they started in red shirts. You guys are all gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no.
I hope this isn't it.
This is it.
No. No.
As soon as I heard that sound, I was like, oh no.
You're telling me the sound of the waves and people cooking and all this stuff is the frog is louder than all that?
Mm-hmm.
There's a frog in the jungle. You want to come with me to find it?
Yes.
Granted the jungle's huge, but it is a small frog, so that should make it harder.
Yeah.
I never got this because I always felt like even if he got the frog, well, isn't there a million more? Like,
There really should be, but it's like there's just this one that's bothering.
Like something you just learn to live with, being on the island.
No. It's this one. It's got a vendetta against him, and he has to put it down. The rest of them won't bother him.
Nothing here that I'm covering up while you're watching. It's too late to do that, Hurley, when he's already standing over it.
Yeah. There's really no point.
Doesn't Ranch go bad? Oh, okay. Thanks, Sawyer.
Mm-hmm. He's savvy enough.
Wow. Room temperature
go.
years. That means there's a lot of preservatives in there.
But Dharma's been gone for at least 12 years, so...
Uh-oh. So it could be pretty
saying. But I guess they kept getting supply drops, so it's possible that that's newer. Not that that really matters, but...
Son of a bitch to a frog. This is... Yeah, that's the thing about this. It starts too heightened. It starts too comical. Like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I need to see a couple of Restless Nights before he's like, goddamn frog in it, you know?
It's one scene, and he's laying on the ground.
In the middle
it's like
anytime he's trying to take a nap, and it's like, dude, wake up. Like,
yeah. Or like earplugs, you know? I mean, I would think someone on the plane had some earplugs.
Thank God for earplug smugglers.
Yeah, they got so many tarps. Like, come on.
Yeah, they got earplugs.
They would. I would think they would, and so it's just like, I don't know. It's such a fake, weird problem to like spend a whole episode on for Sawyer. Like, that's the B plot.
Oh my God, there's someone in the net.
Oh man.
I hope this doesn't change the course of the show forever. I hope this is just a red shirt they're gonna kill off by the end of the episode. Oh my God, he's one of them.
Yeah.
This is a seminal moment. This is huge.
This literally changes the show.
Changes the show. Here we go from Minnesota. This is it.
I can't imagine what it would be like if we didn't have this. We had no idea when we saw this.
No idea.
For all we know, this guy dies next week.
Exactly.
Like, there's no... He means nothing at the time. But here's a good Rousseau scene, like, putting on what we said before. Like, she actually... Ben is the one who took Alex.
Yeah.
And she doesn't mention it.
Yeah, she should say it now. This is the man who took my daughter.
Yeah, and she's just like, he's one of them. I know it. And it's just vague, you know? And it's like, why do you believe her? You know? But if she says, he's the one who took Alex, you know... That gives it some concreteness. You
know, but she can't say that because that ruins the rest of the season when is Ben a good guy or not? Is he Henry Geller?
Yeah.
That ruins all of that. And you know, that's bad. So
it's true.
It's just weird to be, you know.
Yeah. It seems like it should be more personal for her. Since he's the one who took Alex, I would expect it to, she just hands him off, you know? And and she doesn't even bother with him, you know? Like, again, really.
Yeah.
You know, so it seems strange.
And she's not asking him, where's Alex?
Right, exactly. So
it's clear at this point in the show, Ben's not the one who took Alex.
Yeah, I know.
I know. You know, personally, you know, they didn't have that yet.
It's definitely a retcon thing, but also that thing about he's gonna lie. He's gonna lie a lot. You know, where does she get this idea? She never talks to the others. Why does she think they lie all the time? Like, it's just they're bad, so they must lie a lot. Like,
well,
I don't know.
The only thing I'd say is, at least in that scene, she knows and feels that he's not who he says he is. So maybe she's not saying it that she knows it from fact. She's saying it because it's like, he's lying about who he is now. You're going to go take him off and talk to him some more. So I'm going to warn you that he's just going to keep lying. Like, maybe it's supposed to be that simple, but it does come off like she's talking about from past history.
Yeah, like him specifically. And I think she continues to say it about like Mika later or something. And it's just like she has this idea of the others is just they lie all the time, which they do, to be fair. But
Yeah.
she shouldn't know that. She
And she's
never
also
talks to them.
untrusting anyway. She's,
Yeah.
too.
That's true. By the way, Kelvin just
By
entered
the
the
way,
show.
Calvin's on the show. If you're watching and you thought you might have recognized him from a hatch or two,
I think this is super cool.
this is awesome.
This is like one of the things I really loved Last Four. Like
Yeah.
when they would sneak this stuff in, and you don't really know because for all we know, this character is as significant as the characters in the last scene.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just another guy playing a part.
He could have been the Colonel guy, whoever was in the scene with Sayid talking to him. He could have been that guy.
Yeah. Exactly. And so it's like you have no idea. You never would guess this guy was, in the hatch. He's Kelvin that Desmond was talking about.
Yeah.
And they of course hide his name so that you don't hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the other thing that I think is cool about this is that I think we get more insight into Kelvin, this way than we would have if we only saw him in the finale. With Desmond. Because we get to see here's what he was like in the real world. He almost gets his own flashback here.
Oh yeah.
I think that's really nice. I for all I complain about bad planning, I have to give him credit. I think this was nicely planned.
Yeah, this was good. And it works way better than Rosinski's version of this.
Yes.
Where you get to see him,
Right. But yeah, it was sort of the opposite. We heard about Rosinski and then we see him, later.
Yeah.
So and he was just disappointing in every way. Yeah. Kelvin's a much more interesting character than Rosinski, I think.
Yeah.
Which isn't the way it should have been, but that's the way it worked out.
That is the question. I know the answer. I still don't. I mean, from the very beginning, I don't understand Ben's plan. Like, we never were able to figure that out. Like, he gets caught in the net somehow, on purpose, who knows. And then he just runs away.
Yeah.
He knows they're going to shoot him.
Yeah.
So did he plan to be hurt and brought back here, or not?
That's a problem with Ben. Sometimes his plans get like way more elaborate than is reasonable,
or than he even intends. Perhaps.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. Like I think he is like a big improviser.
Yeah.
So I think that part. It seems like it's his plan because he sort of works with what he gets.
Yeah, it works out to his favor. So it seems like he planned it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to think exactly. I will say that as I recall, the Nikki and Paulo episode has a brief scene with Juliet and Ben in the Pearl Station where we get the closest thing that we ever get to Ben explaining his plan.
Okay, yeah.
And he just says it's all about what was it about again? It was the surgery. It was all about the surgery.
Oh.
He wanted Jack to do the surgery, and the only way to do that was with Michael. And so his plan was everything that happens in season 2, which is crazy. Him getting captured, Michael coming back, Michael letting him escape, then leading Jack to them so that Jack could do the surgery. Supposedly that's his plan.
So instead of just having the others kidnap Jack and forcing and then having Michael already captured and then forcing him to do the surgery, then he goes this other route to where he puts himself in danger for most of the season and has to lie the whole time.
Yeah. It's not there. When you put it that way, it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, I think that's the closest thing to an answer that we get. Which is weird. It's in the Nikki and Paulo episode.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ouch. Sick burn.
Find the frog by yourself. What a
That
line!
No one should ever write that line.
What a line to have to say it right.
Find the frog by yourself.
The frog is killing me. It's killing you.
Why is it so serious? This is so weird.
This
That's
is
like
I've
pseudo
watched
drama.
this episode before. This is craziness.
Yeah,
Frog is
yeah.
killing me.
Yeah, they really had nothing else. Like, I can't believe they spent time on that.
And I don't understand. Like the frog's not even like following him. You know,
No.
it's like how close is this? They're traipsing around the jungle. Like how close is this frog? Like,
Yeah, it seems like it's miles away.
and it's like no one else is bothered by it.
No. No. I'm not even sure if anyone else can hear it.
I agree.
It's like he's transmitting on a frequency that only Sawyer can hear.
Well, the frog is Man in Black, right? So
Yeah. It is pretty similar to the boar thing.
yeah,
It's like a very minor version of that. But I don't know why they're doing it, like, other than to fill time. Because I don't think there's enough, like, character building there to really make it worth such a worthless plot.
yeah. So why does he want to change the lock? Change the combination so Jack doesn't know. That's weird.
I guess he thinks that Jack won't let him torture the guy.
How does Jack accomplish that by knowing the combination to the safe? I mean, to the vault. Like Jack's gonna go get a gun to stop him from torturing?
Yeah, like, he'll be able to get in the room, at least.
Oh, he's setting up the room to be the torture room.
Yeah.
He doesn't want Jack to be able to get in there. Okay. I was thinking it was just about getting the guns. Maybe he's explaining himself as I talk over him.
Yeah, I think he pretty much says it.
Orange.
I wish he had an orange the whole time. Be hilarious. He really should have brought that back, or Men in Black should have brought that back.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when he was standing on the beach, that in season 6, like that should have brought it back. That would have been such a cool book. What's it called?
Bookend.
Bookend.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I was thinking. But no, bookend.
Or that, yeah. Yeah, because he knows about it. You know, he's got all the memories.
And it would have made us think so much more that was Locke.
Yeah, that's true. Although I thought it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have guessed that the smoke monster was going to walk around all season.
In Locke's body.
Yeah. That was not where I thought the show was going to go.
Why don't you bring the cot in first?
Yeah, go get the cot.
Oh, that's why.
I don't think he's going to need a cot.
There's no cot needed. He's getting to work. See, I feel like if he would have had sleeves on his shirt, he would have rolled up his sleeves, but instead he ties his hair back.
Yeah, that's his version of rolled up his sleeves.
I don't want my hair to get in the way when I'm torturing you.
Exactly. Such a hindrance.
Yes, sir. Right away, Commandant.
Sayid is not that honorable.
No. He's been pretty far.
Yeah. It was good.
Game.
He got like
How
right in
far
the
are they
face.
up this shot? Like.
Yeah, they look closer in the close-up.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks closer.
Like here, yeah.
They probably are closer.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's that movie magic.
Yeah. Here's your box back.
With my literal bloody hands. To symbolize my bloody hands.
Mm-hmm. Something tells me he's got blood on his hands.
Well, I locked you out. So... Check out that mural. Army, what?
What is a good question? Is he really raising an army, or did he discuss the possibility?
See, that's the thing. There's these lines of dialogue that make it sound like something happened.
Like they're training in the background, but
yeah, exactly. But then it just kind of they forget about it.
Because he could have said, "You want to raise an army, not raising an army."
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like they almost kept it alive for a few more episodes.
Yeah.
But I think when Ana Lucia died, there should have been a line of, well, I guess we're not going to raise that army.
The army idea died with her.
Yeah, like, I just, I don't think they ever acknowledge it again. I think another thing that's cool about Ben is that, or Henry Gale, is that he gives a made-up story that's actually real.
Yeah, he's got some evidence to his story.
Yeah, like it's big parts of the story are true. It's just not him. So like he's giving us the story of another character.
Yeah.
That, many people were hoping we would actually see at some point, but obviously that was way out of bounds for what was important to show.
Why? But we have to count the lies. Yeah, that's a lost drinking game. Drink every time Henry Gale lies.
Yeah. Oh my god. He spends like these episodes lying constantly.
Yep.
Every line. Game.
See, and this goes to the sickness too. Like, why is he making this up? What's this about? Yeah,
it makes it sound like, it feels like it's a clue about the sickness, but clearly that's nothing like the real sickness.
And is that what happened to Henry Gale's wife? Or is this part what Ben is making up? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I believe Ben is making that up. I think
the wife. The wife didn't even come with him, right?
I think the wife didn't even come with him.
Yeah, that's right.
I think so. Because in the grave is Henry Gale.
Yeah, and his letter to the wife. Yeah,
his letter, and he read the letter. I mean, but that's just crazy, for Ben. I mean, that's what makes him a crazy character. Like,
because they encountered. I keep by myself, and it'd been more true to Henry Gale's story.
Yeah. Like he adds shit to it, and which is a bad idea. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
wedding ring. I don't think Ben has a wedding ring on.
the real logical flaw was always why didn't he say some story that would have matched the true thing they find, you know?
Yeah.
Why claim to be Henry Gale when he could claim to be his friend or something, you know, something that would hold up under scrutiny, you know, because
Yeah,
that
he
would have
could
just
say, I crashed here with my friend Henry Gale. Here's a balloon. Here's the proof of Henry
yeah,
Gale. I guess because it would still call into question needing proof of who Ben is,
right.
you know. But the real logical flaw is why didn't he take Henry Gale's wallet, you know, in the letter?
Right. Yeah, that was a bad idea. But I mean, my impression, I mean, that's another thing that just makes the character crazy. Like, I know.
I can't believe they found it.
Hmm.
Now what are you gonna do, Sawyer? Is he happy now? Why is he happy?
Yeah, I don't think animals like that are all that happy. I mean, I guess he's as happy as a frog ever gets.
What if that frog was poisonous?
I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then he
Don't
gives it.
put it in Hurley's hands.
And then he gives it to him. That was
Like, I don't want to hold that.
yeah.
Yuck.
They made it seem less gooey than it probably really is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that seems so gross. But anyway, the thing I was saying is like the others had some kind of encounter with the real Henry Gale, and like Ben, I guess, I mean maybe he planned to use this identity in advance, but you know he had to like sit there and like memorize this story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just kind of crazy.
Shut up.
Instead of just saying something really simple,
Yeah.
you know, like it's
Like
a
my name
really,
is Ben Linus. I'm the leader of the others.
for example. Or my name's Ben Linus, and I came here with my friend Henry Gale. And you don't have to lie as much about who you are.
The wife makes him more sympathetic,
Yeah, that's
which
true.
helps us believe his story.
That's true. And he's definitely selling that part.
Now, why does he know this?
I know. I feel like he like looked up on Wikipedia like hot ballooning facts or something.
Yeah.
Like, no, I gotta know these details so he'll believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting slip up. Because, yeah, a traumatized person would have been like, because I'm rich.
Right. And now it looks like he has to tell a lot more lies to cover up that slip.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a lie.
I don't think you've ever been to a cocktail.
Right? It just sounds so made up. I'm gonna trim your fingernails.
Never.
Oh, did he just bury someone?
Yeah, yeah. And you know Ben's taking this in.
Yeah, he
It's
is.
like, oh, I can use this. I can work with this.
Hmm.
This guy's troubled. He doesn't just want to hurt me. He's got problems.
Yeah. Insight.
Like, this is perfect. We're deflecting.
Hmm.
We're talking about you now.
Yeah,
You're
the
supposed to be
control.
questioning me.
Oh.
I have to say, I find this scene less brutal torture wise than the Sawyer one where they use like the fingernail thing.
Oh yeah, no, we're used to seeing getting people punched and stuff, but yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
the actual real torture of that kind of pain thing is different.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ben gets punched so many times by so many people. It's just sort of like I don't know. I feel like he's almost immune to it.
Yeah, you can get used to being punched, right?
Yeah, yeah. If anybody can, I think he would be able to do it. Oh no. Don't let the clock count down. Oh yeah.
When Jag gets crazy, I love Crazy Jag.
Yeah. He gets those eyes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Uh-huh. Let's just see. He's like he's almost Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Like he's
Yeah.
on edge.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like and he's almost like pleased.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's ready to go down with the ship.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. Yeah, but I think all told, it's a good thing they didn't let it go off right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they would have imploded.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
No, I love when he makes the mistake. I love the slow backspace.
Yeah. Oh shit, this is that.
God,
I forgot about that.
this is huge. This is like
Yeah,
something does happen, and it's scary.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember seeing this and being like, "Oh my god, what does that mean?"
And then spending time online when people deciphering the hieroglyphic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like Underworld or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like I just made you break your dishes. Like he totally won that round.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I remember those looks, man. That was a big deal back then.
Yeah. With his lies.
The more you know.
Right? They did a little PSA about trusting other kinds of people.
Yeah, that was a weird, like, let's learn a lesson from Locke.
Old wise Locke, departing wisdom again.
I never thought about it that way. And now I'm gonna reconsider.
Hmm. It's too quiet right now, guys.
Yeah.
And he's longing for something. That's never good.
Always looking. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's Kate's
Totally is Kate's dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, I know this guy, and I didn't even put that together.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So he's a good character.
And Kelvin.
Yeah.
It's group.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing.
Green screen much, guys?
Yeah, this set looks really CG.
I guess there's no parts of Hawaii that look like Baghdad or whatever.
Yeah, not like externally. We're just supposed to show like vast deserty areas.
I always thought that was kind of weird too. Is like, we just taught you how to torture. Like, really? All you did was give him some tools and motivation.
Yeah, yeah. But it's sort of like they taught him. I don't know that was a good way to get information. I don't know. He had to figure out how to do.
They made him capable of doing that. Basically, they broke in a way that he doesn't. That he tries to ignore in the future. But
yeah, and I love that. I will never do that again. It's like he's already broken that. Mm-hmm. Now 2 times at least, and we know more, of course, from the other flashbacks.
Yeah. Oh, green screen.
It's like an apocalyptic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what a war zone should look like. Those are the oil fields on fire, but that does look crazy.
It really did.
Oh, this was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, they did this a lot in season 2. This ending with like 2 characters talking and some big line. And it's Charlie.
They never talk to each other.
No, it's just weird. Yeah, why are you doing it? Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And guilt is how I judge people.
Yeah, it's just strange. That Merciless was British.
Very British.
Merciless.
Merciless. Cheerio.
Uh-oh.
Well, you just reminded me.
I know. Even if I had, it doesn't matter.
I remember now. Yeah, it's such a weird scene because it's like, well, what is he asking him to do?
Yeah.
Like, what do you... It's like the next line should have been, we're going to start an army. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you want him to do about it?
Yeah, exactly. There's no point. It's just... See, I remember at the time, like, it's weird looking at it now because I don't have that perspective anymore. But I remember at the time there was certain concerns or complaints or issues or whatever about the idea that they weren't addressing the problems fast enough, or that the characters are like forgetting about stuff that happened.
Yeah. That was a huge thing.
I think we even talked about that at one point.
Well, we had the theory that the island made you forget, and the island made you not want to leave and stuff.
The island made you forget stuff. And, like Michael ran off, and there's all this, the wall thing, and the others in general, and the idea was that they weren't sufficiently addressing it, in the plot. I kind of feel like that the point of that scene is just to sort of reestablish the others as a threat. I think it's also a setup for the next episode.
Yeah.
Because the next episode is maternity leave, so they're going to talk about Claire again. And
God knows what happened to her. Oh, we'll watch that in the next episode.
Exactly. So I think they're also reminding the audience, oh yeah, Charlie got strung up. Oh yeah, Claire was kidnapped. Oh yeah, the others have done other stuff, besides the most recent problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was partially that, and just like sort of making a character make a commitment to being against the others on screen. But it's very strange to watch because it doesn't have the force of we're gonna raise an army. It's just like, do you remember that this exists?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a very weak thing. Like, yeah, sure do. Where do we go from there?
Yeah, it would have been an interesting to end more on what I know you remember Charlie, so what are we gonna do about it?
Exactly. I think just ending with that was sort of, and I think the idea, like, I don't feel guilty, so therefore I know he's one of the others. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just seems strange to me. I never understood that line. Anytime I've watched this episode.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't really, because it's like, well, he didn't say anything that made you feel like he was telling the truth, which would have made you feel guilty. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, I think he's lying, therefore I don't feel guilty. So therefore he's, another. But it's really like he's another because he's lying.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just, Saeed, I guess, for the kind of, stuff he's done in the past, I guess he really feels like he can read people, and he knows Ben's lying, but nonetheless, he is the one who later on goes out to the balloon and digs up the grave and has a great speech revealing,
Yeah.
the truth. So I feel like he also should want and does, more evidence, before he's so sure. And I think they even portray that later, whereas here it seems like he doesn't even need to go to the balloon. He already knows it.
Yeah, I think it's because there's more lies to come later, so maybe he's wavering later, but it does seem like he's decided on it now, even though he's gonna reopen the question later. But yeah, well, interesting episode, one of them.
It was
Just very pivotal moment, getting caught in that net. Sometimes when you catch something in the net, you should throw it back.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think from the very beginning, like, Michael Emerson is right on with that character.
Yeah.
He's totally playing it in that way that he always played Ben, where
Yeah,
it's like,
there's no ramp up time for him. He's already playing the character like he continues to play the character for the rest of the show.
yeah, and that's why they liked him so much, that they like made him, a main character, because like he comes on and it's just like, he has that amazing weird way of saying lines, and just that impenetrable, like, he seems like he's manipulative, but also you can never quite tell which things are lies.
Yeah.
So it's just it's really fun to watch. And God, yeah, we got Kelvin and the flashback. The only thing I think that really sucked about this episode was that tree frog thing.
That ruins this episode. So they could have cut that out and gave us more time with one of the other two plot, the flashback or the island story. But like, that was completely a waste of time for Hurley and Sawyer to go on this trek to find the tree frog, and nothing really came out of that except Hurley's hiding food, and Sawyer he can't nap during the daytime because of a tree frog. And
yeah, and when you say it like that, it's like, how did anyone think that would be a good idea for a plot? Like, it's like, it's on the surface, it just sounds ridiculous.
I mean, that's a fine plot in an episode where Jack and the rest of the people are playing golf or something.
Sure.
But when you're introducing, like, your show's number one villain, spoiler alert, then, it seems like you should have something else as weighty. Or maybe they just thought we needed something light,
lighter thing
compared to the torture, but
I think it's too light. Like, You know, like it's even supposed to have content. You know, that moment at the end where he kills the tree frog, like that's supposed to be a character moment. But I think it's just too unimportant and too minor of a thing and too absurd of a problem
Yeah.
to really get anything out of it. And so
It would have just been way more interesting to me if he didn't find the tree frog and Hurley and Sawyer, you know, have some interesting conversation that lead, you know, they have some character growth from this excursion, and it's not about finding the tree frog, it's about them talking about whatever they talk about. But
yeah,
you know, and maybe at the very end afterwards he's walking and he steps on the frog and his problem happens to be over. But to the fact that they found it, it was just so, they found this little tiny frog in this huge jungle. There's only one.
Yeah, one frog.
There's only one, and Hurley's gonna walk like 2 beaches away, like carrying this frog and then leave him in his new place. And I mean, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What a weird little plot that is.
It is. I wish they'd come up with something better for that, because I think otherwise it was a fairly good episode. I think it was definitely, and I felt this way at the time, I still think it's true. I think it was definitely a step up from the last couple.
Yeah.
But it felt a little bit like light on anything developing. You know, having this guy here like creates a whole new dynamic that I think really kicks the show.
Especially when having the guy in the Swan Hatch where we don't even know what the button does yet. You know, we're still trying to figure out this, and so now you've got the other person in this volatile situation as well. So
exactly, yeah, and it just ramps it up. And I think really the latter half of the season, like a huge amount of the drama revolves around the fact that Ben's in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was critical that they did that. If it had been like a crappier actor or something, like I can't even imagine what that show would be like.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine like the he that they talk about in maternity leave would have been somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, they would, you know, like, or it would have been the leader, but it wouldn't have been this Henry Gale guy. Like that wasn't going to be, that wouldn't have been the leader. He would have just been someone else, or someone who just lied about what happened, but not the ultimate, you know, leader of the others.
And they've admitted that was their original plan, you know, that he wasn't supposed to be the leader, you know, but they liked him so much that they did it. And I think that's at least part of why the plot of his coming there and the stuff with Rousseau and everything else. I mean, obviously, if that was their plan for him, he didn't take Alex. Like, no fucking way.
Yeah, it's not set up that way. Yeah, it's set up like he's another, but not the boss. Because why would the leader get himself caught? You know, like
exactly.
Doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So I think part of that is just what they decided to later caused plot problems for what they originally wrote. Whereas they originally wrote it in such a way that they weren't committed to the character.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have to make him a big role. So, but still, I think if you put aside the plot, I think the characterization is really quite good.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope we see some more of this Michael Emerson guy.
I think we just might.
1 or 2 more episodes, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else on one of them?
No, I think that's it. We covered it, more or less.
Cool. Well, season 2 is ramping up here.
Yes.
And the next episode...
I think this is a turning point. I think really starting here, like the season... There's a little lull there, I know, but in general, the season starts like, moving more quickly.
Yeah.
And things start happening, and I think we've gotten through the lull.
Yeah, we're past Fire Plus Water, so...
Yeah, that was a tough one.
All right, we'll be back with maternity leave next time. Until then, thanks and namaste.
Namaste and good luck.